This is life.
Porno. Okay, right. Yeah.
Well, just real life.
Alright.
Wow.
Real life Sylvester Stallone. No,
What is real life?
but
Really
he has to sell his dog. And then he ends up like, I think it was because of Rocky that he made enough money and he bought his dog back. Like forever later. For a lot of money.
I should get a tumbler. Cigarettes.
Well, I mean, yeah, people get done with. What is this? Hide and seek reindeer?
Yeah, it's Sam's book. It was in my back pocket.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I can definitely tell. It's...
Adults read Flipbooks.
Oh, you
right?
did?
Oh, thank you for that, Nolan.
Where can that reindeer be today?
Was that a t-shirt idea?
One.
Episode title.
What?
What is this?
Santa says, where can he be? Christmas holly. In the woods? Behind the tree?
In the flesh?
Ow!
It's Krampus.
Look, there are hoof prints in the snow. Candle.
Wait, what?
What?
Is that really what it just...
Are you reading this?
Okay. Look, there are hoof prints in the snow.
Oh, this is like
Candle.
this is a what's in the log? Can you say candle moment?
Right.
Yeah.
Santa says, where do they go? Where do they go? Bag full of carrots. Rabbit. That was good.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
The
than
log was a
being-
candle.
Yeah.
And every log could become a candle if you try hard.
The present was a wand.
Alright, now you can put your fucking kids to bed. Hello, welcome to Fandom Nonsense, I'm Zach.
I am.
Go that way. He can't go next.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, that's how I'm so used to like.
He ripped him out. There's no mystery.
Aaron, Coco.
There's no
Also
mystery.
There we go.
How is everybody doing?
And this is where they respond.
Well, welcome to the post show. Yeah, I mean,
Let's
it's
go
like
to the post show.
It is now. No, it's like Dora the Explorer. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I talked to them, asked them a question, they answered.
I'm
Yeah, they
burning
yell at
this.
their TVs.
No, you're not. You're gonna burn a 3-year-old's book.
Man, the book is so awful.
It's for a 3-year-old. Are you a 3-year-old, Aaron? Yeah. Okay.
Is he sleeping in the hay? No. That's a donkey.
Donkey.
Donkey!
What are you doing in me hay?
Okay.
No, man. It's Christmas. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's not even December.
So, hopefully you guys watched our Justice League review on our Patreon.
$1.
$1.
4 gumballs.
And also stick fight. Fight between, let's see, me, Nolan, Ricky, who is unfortunately not here tonight, Aaron, and Jacob actually stopped in for that one. And by the time this comes up, there will be a 3-minute episode up, and I think that's all. But
Hey, you're all caught up.
and if it's not like taken down for some bullshit copyright reasons, then me, Nolan, and Aaron last week watched an episode of Super Friends.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, super
So
classic.
classic.
It was awesome.
Super friends.
It was great. But
Oh.
Damn.
unfortunately, you had to leave, or you couldn't come back for the show. After.
Yes, I was pulled over for being a black man driving late at night.
I expected
Well, how
that.
dare you?
Yeah.
Dude,
honestly.
story
Did
of
you
my
learn a
life.
lesson?
Yeah, I did. I did. Don't
Yeah.
trust the police. No, it was simple. I was literally just driving down the road after we left the show, after we left the movie. I left, and I was headed back home, and he followed me from the top of Strawberry Hill all the way into by Jackson Street, across from the Lone Oak Kroger's. And after he followed me for so long, I eventually was just like, you know, you get uneasy whenever that starts happening, depending on how you live your life anyway. But, you know, anybody getting followed closely is going to be a problem. He followed me with his spotlights on my car for absolutely no reason. Just followed me up on my ass the entire time, and then pulls me over and asks me if he can search my car. And I'm like, I got places to be right now, but I really don't care. So it's up to you. Would you like to waste my time and like potentially, you know, put my son at risk of not having a babysitter or his mother having to go anywhere or anything like that? Like I had places to go, and you wanna waste my time by making me uneasy for the past like 10-minute drive until we get here, and then it's time for me to get my car searched. And I was like, I don't care. Feel free, dude. Like you're not gonna bother me. There's a car seat back there. Got some toys all over the floor. A Mario action figure from McDonald's. You know, nothing more you're gonna find in here. You know, but it's not the first time at all. You know, I've been followed from Steak and Shake all the way to my house. Like that's 17
It's a
miles.
distance,
Like
Yeah.
it's unnecessary, but hey, that's where I live apparently. And what to do with it?
Mm.
Fight back, y'all.
And it was
Rise up.
make me think like, man, you get hyped up,
When it's
something
done.
super awesome happens,
Yeah.
and just like that moment just
Hmm.
cuts it.
Yeah,
cuts it straight away.
I was super into like that movie was first off the best DC movie I've seen in a while. You know, and I had a lot to say about that. And
That's why I brought it up. But
Oh,
you get your
Shrek.
opinion.
oh man, okay, so
Oh god.
first off,
Spoilers.
spoiler alert, the Batman scenes, especially the beginning Batman scenes, fucking excellent. It reminded me, like, it felt like I was watching a Batman or watching a DC animated movie that they had replaced with live action characters.
Yes.
It was so solid, especially at those moments. My issues were Flash. Actually, Bernie Burns said it in his podcast too. It felt like they tried to make Flash an autistic character.
Yeah.
Like they tried to like broadcast him as being so
It's definitely on the
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yes,
But
like you said, maybe high functioning Asperger's or whatever, you know.
Actually, if I can interject real quick, Bernie said something in the latest RT podcast that I think really kind of resonated with me was, I feel like Superman is
Oh my god, too much.
too much. You do not need to have a character whose whole shtick is
Being the best.
speed or whatever, and then have someone else on the team who is better than them
Yes.
at what they do.
Which is
That
like,
Man,
But that's
he's been
like
doing it a
always
lot
been,
longer.
well,
yeah.
the thing is that a lot of the times it always felt like, you know, like Wonder Woman and Superman were like right next to each other. Obviously, Superman's stronger, and you know he just has that
I mean,
bit
she's
more.
she's a better combatant.
Yes, but the thing is, like, it always felt like, especially even in Justice League, the Cartoon Network series, it felt like Superman and Wonder Woman were close to on par. I mean, Wonder Woman was going toe to toe with Darkseid. She wasn't winning, but she was going toe to toe whenever he had the black
Yeah.
rose, whatever that thing is. But I know that she's not, but at least she was kind of close. You know what I mean?
Oh, Wonder Woman?
Yes,
Oh,
Wonder
yeah.
Woman always felt like she was close, but in this movie, it gives the disposition that she is, I don't know if I use it right, that she's like substantially weaker than Superman.
You know
is.
what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Namek. It reminds me of
Goku.
It reminds me of everyone fucking giving their all.
Even
shit.
even after they increase.
Exactly. Even at their best,
Yeah.
and they get the shit beat out of them, and then Goku comes in and it's absolutely nothing for him.
In his defense,
And I expect more than that from a.
The Incredible, the
From
Avengers
Hollywood.
did that, and then in a much faster fashion. With Loki,
what do you mean?
like just the Hulk.
Oh yeah. Like,
But
Hulk
that's-
didn't save the day, pretty much. They were having a hard time.
I made it like it was nothing.
But in Goku's defense there, he did kind of like spam the regeneration thing. He just kept using 100 times gravity, hurting himself.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
No.
thing comes to Namek, and he's like, I only got like 4.
No, I mean.
Like,
Sorry,
a whole
guys.
bag. And he just said, nah, fuck everybody else. This is my nonsense. But no,
I'd
I
probably
get,
a
I get.
lot different.
Oh,
if
yeah.
he didn't do that.
That's true. Like Goku would have been a lot weaker if he hadn't spammed that. Which also is
Vegeta would have probably been stronger than him at
That's-
that point in time.
yes, because if it wasn't for that experience, he wouldn't have been able to overpower Raccoon the way he did. You know. But no, you're absolutely right. He makes it look like the whole situation was nothing from him. Like Steppenwolf meant absolutely nothing, and that was a problem for me because I've literally these 3 things. Whatever we just
And
said.
that Superman's just overconfident attitude in general.
It was very unbecoming of the character. Like they definitely did the whole like, what was it, Justice League or Superman versus
The Elite.
Yes, it was. I am the most powerful being. There's nothing that can stop about me.
He's a little bit of a super douche.
Yes, you're correct. No, that it very much so like turned me off of the character because I would expect to see the regenerations, and I was very stoked about that.
Right.
But they also had that what's it called? The Uncanny Valley effect.
Oh, God.
With Superman's upper lip. It was very bothersome
Because the reshoots
they had to reshoot.
Oh yeah, because he had a mustache.
Yes,
during
and so
filming
they
of it all.
take
Which is
that away.
hilarious.
They take that away, and then like in the scenes, you notice it. It was so vivid to me.
I didn't
because
pay attention to it.
Next time you
I
watch
didn't even
Justice League, watch that, and then you see that like it's almost as if right here isn't moving. Like it looks like it's like they're trying to form it right, but you can tell, and it's like very distracting. It's pulling me so far away.
I did not even notice that once.
Superman can't have a mustache ever?
I know he has.
Yeah, he's probably had a
He's
mustache.
had a full beard. And
Yeah.
There's also what I call the Gone with the Wind effect, where it looks like characters are like standing, like you can tell that they're standing in front of a projected backdrop.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a lot of shots like
it's
that
like,
where it really takes you out.
Whenever you're watching a cartoon, an old school cartoon, you can tell like what object in the room is getting ready to move.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
because
so-
of the way it was animated.
Yeah.
I didn't say one thing said.
Yeah, no, that's still.
You'd be like,
that's still
oh,
happening
that
today.
thing's gonna do a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's gonna happen?
like literally, you can pay less attention to like what's actually going on. You're sitting there going, when are you gonna move?
There was like my only complaints really were those menial or the three things there, and then Aquaman's origin story
It was really weird.
really bothered me because he basically just showed up in Atlantis and he was like, "Oh, you need some help?" And she was like, "Nope, he's already gone." "Oh, you're the bastard son, aren't you?" He was like, "Yup." And she was like, "Okay, here's a trident." And he was like, "All right, go."
It was
And that was-
basically, they just like shoehorned in his
Yeah.
trident.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is, has 5 points in this. So that's not
Yeah, like you'd think they actually would have had more characters come into it. Because I mean, in the casting, Willem Dafoe plays like one of Aquaman's best friends, and he was in the casting list on at least on IMDb
Right.
for
Well, it's
being.
a lot of at that point, especially like probably like a couple of months ago before the movie was like trailer wise.
Maybe there's another like longer director's cut.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Probably.
they've done it with every other one, haven't they?
Yeah.
Superman.
There-
I don't think there's a
Batman versus
yeah.
Justice.
There's
Batman versus Justice League.
Justice.
That'll happen.
Oh,
I'm hoping that happens. I want to see Ben Affleck
Ben Affleck's
destroy.
too old for this right now.
He's 40.
No, the Batman character that Ben Affleck's playing is too old.
No, that's what we were talking about doing like a Flashpoint kind of thing,
He's moved
and
on.
actually getting a younger Batman to come out after whatever Barry does.
I feel like they're going to because it's
I feel
no
like that's
secret.
like the only right way to like
'Cause he's
change the
this-
character.
He feels so old unless you're getting ready to do like who's that one with the face mask that just made it
Bane,
no, fuck, what's his name? It's right there on the tip of my tongue too.
Darth Vader,
No, the detective.
the Mask, or no, the Question.
The Question. Yeah. I would love to see a movie about him.
The
Mask.
That's
That would be
nice,
cool.
dark,
Dude,
gritty,
yes.
noir.
Well, I mean that's who Rorschach's based off of.
Right.
Oh yeah, but I want that noir feel.
Yeah.
That kind of old school.
I know. I want like the animated series version of the Question.
Yes.
By far, with that
That's a good
sarcastic humor, just
And Dr. Cox playing the Atom. That's it.
he's too old
I mean, he played the Atom in Justice League.
in the cartoon.
Yeah.
That's forever ago.
Nah.
In which
10 years.
In which series?
In the cartoon,
The
Justice League, in
Cartoon
Unlimited,
Network.
in Unlimited, like
Unlimited?
yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, Dr. Cox plays the Atom, and I would love Dr. Cox could play an excellent Atom. I mean, he was an older doctor. It's fine. There's a few.
Alright,
Well,
I'm-
here,
I'm-
go ahead
I'm
now.
fine with Johnny C. playing.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
That's Stan against evil. It's actually a really good
yeah.
show. It's kind of campy, but still a very intriguing show.
Getting back to Aquaman, that is the character that across the board
Yeah, it was the least favorite.
I see being panned.
I expected Jason Momoa to be awesome. I mean, he did a great job.
Eye candy.
He's
He was eye candy.
he's such a like strong physical presence, and yet he has no like on-screen like camera
Yeah,
presence
his
or
substance
energy.
was-
There's no
Yeah.
substance to him.
Yeah.
He,
Which scares the shit out of me because just like how they expected BVS to be this blowout huge success, and Justice League was already in production, it bombed, and then they had to retool. They didn't just scrap it and start over. They had to retool it as it was working. And you can
Right.
see the scars in it as you watch the movie.
Right.
I worry about the Aquaman movie because the weakest character is the one that is the next movie to come out next year. It's already well into production.
Right, and how weak is it going to be? Because this movie was only.
And this will be the story of Aquaman becoming the king of Atlantis.
Yes, but
they're expecting that people fell in love with Aquaman in this movie. He was everybody's favorite.
It was because he's.
A lot of people probably really did like him.
It's like muscle-bound Jim Morrison.
I really wanted his character to be like.
Yeah, me too.
And I didn't expect, especially with the way Cyborg looked. I did not expect Cyborg. to be
He was my number one.
Yeah,
he was my number one.
In every other movie before, Batman vs Superman and Superman, what is it, Man of Steel, those movies, I was so interested. I was in love with Lois Lane's actress. She was. She was such a good. She was a story. She was the story to me. She filled in the holes that the action sequences weren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she did the same thing for Batman vs Superman, and with Wonder Woman's character. What's her name?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Her and Lois Lane were very intriguing to me in Batman vs Superman. And then
See,
whenever
I didn't like her at
Wonder
all.
Woman movie, Wonder Woman's
Same.
really.
No,
Man.
I felt like
I love Amy Adams, but I didn't like her.
They needed Lois Lane to help out with Man of Steel because it's a standalone Batman movie. You don't need her.
Come on.
Wow, yeah, no, it's a standalone Superman movie.
It's kind of a standalone Batman movie.
They've become Briggs of Murtaugh.
Yeah.
My brain, as I was hearing you say, come on, all I heard in my head was
It's
just
a prequel to that
dude.
moment at the beginning of Batman vs.
That's exactly why they. I feel like their characters were so much more than what was actually happening around the movie. I was so attentive to their.
See, they should have spent less time on them and more
Yeah.
time
Really?
developing Batman.
They
and
should have.
Superman.
No,
Like
they
that
should have.
dialogue.
If they were going to spend time on.
We're just kind of the same
Which one?
conversation we've had 3,000 times.
Yeah.
It's his mother's name!
Martha. Who
All right,
told
okay.
me that name?
Top to bottom, if you can, name your favorite characters.
All six.
All six.
I mean, she can't do it alone, right?
Weird name.
I would say. That's the beginning. That's the.
Oh, no, yeah.
Tagline of the movie. Definitely have to be. That's yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm like, wait, hold on, there's more there. It would have to be. Flash's comedy was very excellent, especially the dialogue at the bonus scene with Superman, where he said the whole you're getting kicked out if you don't win. That was excellent.
See, yeah,
Again,
that was a
super
very
douche.
that's a perfect Superman moment.
It was
Go back and watch the
was-
animated series. Superman was just like this.
I remember him being goading on, kind of having.
Yes,
Instead of seeing a cartoon face with beady eyes, you're actually getting a full person.
Right, but I mean,
It's more than that though.
I feel like his was more good natured.
Yes,
It was
scene-
good natured.
No,
Kind of.
Okay, so the scene with
He's not really gonna kick him out.
Right, but
I
I
mean,
mean, he's
that-
kind of
that's
being
stuff like that
it's
all
like
the time.
I have the
Yeah.
power over you. You know.
I'm even as I don't like Superman, but I appreciate who his character is supposed to be. I definitely felt like this was a more faithful interpretation of the character than Man of Steel or
the
BVS were.
ending scene was solid.
I'm talking about all of it.
No, I know.
I just want to see this. I just want to see the Superman now that he's
Fleshed
established.
out.
Yeah.
Now in his own movie, and I don't really like.
Well, see, and that's okay. So Man of Steel is really good character development for Superman, but Superman. I said so fast. I said so fast.
Superman.
But whenever it came time for Dawn of Justice and in this movie particularly felt like he was just so overconfident that it was an issue. Yes, he knows who he is, which that's fine to have the knowledge of who you are, but he didn't give an absolute shit about Steppenwolf. And that, there was no worry or anything. He was not bothered by him at all. He was like, I'm kicking
Dude,
his
he's
ass.
just so happy to be alive.
He was not happy to be alive.
At first.
Most of it. Up until the point where he was like...
Up until Lois and him had that conversation.
And even after that conversation, he was still like, you can't leave me alone or whatever, right?
Who?
To Batman.
Oh, that was before that.
You want me dead, or you want? No, that was after the conversation with Lois. After the conversation with Lois, whenever he shows up.
Well, I mean, he might still be a little angsty.
Exactly my point.
He's
He's
still
being
He's still a little birthday. He's still a little birthday.
Hurt.
He's still a little butthurt.
I get that
Little
he's like upset that he
Yeah,
died. But
birthday.
what I'm saying is that he comes across as a little douchey with the whole like "fuck you guys." I don't really like you guys. But whatever, I'll do what I have to do. Like it didn't feel like he gave a shit. Like Steppenwolf just got back and like fucked everything up.
Wait,
Superman-
I feel like he cares too
And
much
it's like
beyond
Superman.
his like
About
internal
anything or
character.
just-
At that point, even throughout
Yeah.
the whole movie, it just felt like he didn't really care.
At the end, no man, like he had that really good moment with Cyborg. At the then
Yeah.
he's having that good conversation.
It was
with,
good.
with
That
Ben
that
Affleck.
part is fine, but that's
Affleck.
what I'm saying. Man. It's not okay. Don't like that. No. That whole like a lot of his conversations, like this conversation he had with Cyborg, the deep.
I can't feel my toes.
The deep, meaningful conversation. Oh man, when he said "booyah,"
Dude!
I was fucking yes. That's all I wanted, dude.
It was perfect.
He just had a lot of moments that made
Yeah.
him feel like fucking like he was gonna go home and listen to Marilyn Manson, and that was a little
Superman?
Yes,
Wow.
just the whole like
He had a lot of good, just like good classic Superman-y sounding one-liners.
he did.
Yeah, he did.
But he
have
had
those.
a lot of other angsty moments too. That's what I'm saying.
He's
Like,
still
he
getting
had-
over things, man.
Okay, that's fine. You're defending him so hard instead
Yeah,
of just
well,
listening
I-
to what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Aaron's defending Superman.
Hold
Crazy.
on. I expected that from Aaron.
Right.
I expected you to have a little bit more objectivity. Like,
I'm not
Like-
a huge Superman fan.
no. I
Superman.
That's not our fault. Or mine.
No, I mean, like, best of the DC movies, like Man of Steel, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman was the best of the. best of the
Okay,
movies to me.
okay.
Man of Steel was good. Is what I'm saying. Like in comparison to Superman Returns, Superman 3, Superman
I don't,
2.
and I don't,
Three.
I don't hate the Justice League. It was
I said 2 and then reference.
it was enjoyable. I'm personally glad they cut it down to 2 hours because it didn't
We
drag
didn't
out
need
too
3
much.
hours. Yeah.
The only thing,
Like there was definitely a lot of plot holes and definitely a lot of like
I need a-
emptiness to it.
I need an extra hour special edition on DVD.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, it's just they could have literally cut out that entire Aquaman scene.
yeah.
That return to Atlantis, they could have cut that shit out. They could have just seen him like, you know how you saw him rescuing the sailor?
Mm-hmm.
We should have done that again, but with like an oil tanker spilled because of BP. That shit I would have seen.
For the 100th goddamn time, but you weren't here last week.
Got that defense wrong.
They instead of doing BVS, they should have given all three of the Trinity their own standalone movie. And then, because then there would have been the space in this movie to develop Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman more, and give them a little more breathing room.
Cyborg?
If Batman was more established, and then there wouldn't be that whole as Superman and Man of Steel to BVS to this movie are completely different characters in every movie with no like link to connect them. Like the growth is like isn't like
Yeah,
this,
it's just kind of jumped.
yeah, and just in weird directions.
It's, if I'm gonna say like my 6 from top to bottom would
Yes,
be
please.
Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Flash, Batman, and then Superman, followed up by
Poseidon.
He is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
so yeah, that would be my 6 because Cyborg had the best story in
Mhm.
my opinion.
Even if he wasn't a MacGuffin, he still had like a lot of like heart and story to it.
Yes, but Wonder Woman had the flexibility of having the previous movies, so people understood her story as it is.
And
Plus
she continued
being-
to be.
Plus, being a female lead, she was very strong.
Right.
You know?
Did-
She's
did
a
it-
classic Wonder Woman.
As great as Godot is, because she to me is like a Christopher Reeves or Hugh Jackman or
Fitting.
like,
Yeah.
and she just is that
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
But did it feel like this movie wasn't aware of Wonder Woman?
Yeah,
like
it
her
feels like
character?
there's
Yeah.
Not as much, yeah.
The only real reference he had on it was
And lost love interest.
her lost love interest when Batman was like, "Good." She was like checked.
I-
Like,
I didn't
But
think-
kind of
I
felt like
didn't
a
think
studio note, like
Yeah,
like read the script.
I didn't
like,
feel like they
right.
needed that to
Yeah.
even be in the film.
No,
Like, that
it-
wasn't
it-
even something that she needed. We
It was-
just saw that happen.
That was her
Yes.
connection for Cyborg. That was the only. I feel like that's the only reason why.
I'm saying it doesn't need to. There was no need to even say it
I
out
mean,
loud.
it's like
That was a waste of time.
It's like in like Super, they do that thing where they're like, oh, You
This is an anime.
remember when they started transforming last time, or whenever they said that one thing, like kind of like the callbacks, just to make sure. If
the movie that came out
didn't
just-
watch Wonder Woman, here's what happened in it, just in case you're like you didn't know if she was in love with the dude or not.
Which is a microcosm of how DC does the whole multiverse thing wrong, but we've been on.
I just wish they would not have done the Flash, because I like the character.
I feel like, he was the best character to put in. I mean,
I
it
know,
could
I
have been
just-
him, Martian
they-
Manhunter, or Green Lantern.
No, I'm glad that they
Martian
put the
Manhunter.
Flash in the movie. I'm just saying.
Not for a start.
I wish that they
I feel like
would
that's too
have-
big.
Okay, yeah, I guess
Martian-
it needs to like.
I feel like I was
Martian
space rated
Green
too much to
need to
begin
hold
with.
off a little
Well,
bit.
it's just
let
like-
things get
with
bigger.
less-
You have
Just like the whole less green, but yeah, like the Avengers, in the Avengers movie, they're like, no, we messed up this. Let's just not give them a standalone movie. Let's do this.
that's what I'm
DC
saying.
did the
Like,
exact same thing
but
with their green character.
that's what I'm saying is that I know that they're not trying to
Can I get
be
his
Marvel.
own movie?
No, come on, son. Wonder
Neither did
Woman.
I.
I mean, they are as much as they can without directly
Yes,
ripping
and
them.
that's my problem is that you have this pretty well done Flash character, who and then you have a pretty excellently conceived Martian Manhunter as well. You have these characters already with their own driven storylines that are getting pretty good ratings. And there's enough people that are interested in this that are also interested in these movies. You should have just continued on their stories to bring them in or something. I know that's going to be hard to work around and everything else, and you've already developed such a narrative over here.
Right.
But even just throwing that Flash in and being like, oh, I'm from a different universe, that would have been enough of an explanation. To be like, cool. You didn't have to bring Martian in, but
No, I completely agree. Especially with I feel like DC can get away with that more because they hinge more on the multiverse thing. But
yes.
I wish Marvel, even though it's all supposed to be connected or whatever, I wish.
Right. Shield dated to Shield.
Yeah, I wish that Marvel didn't seem to have such a dividing line between the shows
Oh yeah,
and
because Netflix, the Netflix series, like Punisher and stuff.
Mhm.
They
versus
reference
watching. Yeah, they reference it, but
But
the
they don't.
grittiness of those versus watching the Avengers movies feels like you're in two different completely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
I
that's
watched
kind
the
of how it
Punisher the other
goes.
day, and it
Like,
was
just-
fucking.
but I would love
Those are all really dark comics to begin
Yeah,
with.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but
they
you know,
need
that's,
that tone. But
Yeah.
it's
It's over.
But I would just because there have been, even as dark as a Daredevil or Punisher comic may be, they have crossed over with Spider-Man or the X-Men or the Avengers before. And I understand that that's cinematically tones don't shift very well, but I would still love to see just a cameo in the background of Daredevil and
Right, yeah.
just some little
Well,
thing
even,
to
what they mentioned something
In
in
Hell's
Homecoming.
Kitchen?
Yeah, they mentioned Hell's Kitchen,
Yeah.
and that's cool.
that's
something a
directly
little,
to,
something
like,
a little bit
Daredevil.
more than just
That's the same thing that they do in
reference.
the Marvel or
But that's what
in
I'm
the
saying,
universe
is,
as well. Other than
No, I'm saying that I wish Marvel would
pull in Daredevil or something.
pull in characters more because DC can get away with the multiverse thing, but Marvel
That's what I say about DC.
feel more expansive. It was bigger than just the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
You felt like all of it was.
The reason I want DC to do it is because we have the Flash post-Flashpoint, who understands who he is as a hero.
Yeah.
And they're not having to give a whole new story to a character that we already have in 4 seasons of a show with.
Yeah.
Instead of having to worry
And they're doing a
about this.
Flashpoint thing on the show right now. aren't
They just finished.
They just finished,
Last
okay.
season was the Flashpoint thing, and now the first couple episodes of this season they have Elongated Man, and Elongated Man is a dope character.
I love
in general,
Elongated Man.
but I know, and they put him in the show, and he's walking forward, and he's talking with Barry, and Barry's this guy comes up, give me all your, he's give me all your money, and whenever he's give me all your money, they're like, we're having a conversation, hold on, and they turn around and start talking again. He's I know this kind of guy. He's not gonna shoot anybody. Look at him, he's weak. He's talking, and so the dude shoots Elongated Man in the back, and the bullet goes through, comes back, and then fires and hits the dude, shoots him in the ass. He falls to the ground. He's oh my god! He's freaking out. Barry's you just shot him. He's I didn't shoot him. And it's such a perfect back and forth that this character already knows who he is, or this actor knows who he is as a character. And so the wonderful back and forth they had there, the humor kept building, and you have the humor. You don't need Ezra. Ezra was good, but this Barry is who he looks like.
Hey gang, If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to check out our Teespring. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, and more from shows like Fandom Nonsense, as well as 3 Element artists Foxes Have Holes, Please Stand By, The Booty Goons, and more. Show your support and style with your cool Indie Carnival merch. Thank you. Now back to the show.
Obviously, of course, new episode of Dragon Ball Super this week.
And it was a solid episode. The direction was very
You would say
weird.
that.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, you would.
I was really happy to
love
see
Rio.
Krillin actually yelling for 18
Oh yeah, it definitely
instead
showed
of being
that love.
so screaming for Goku.
But
Well,
the
I
thing,
mean,
Man, I just want to punch you every time you say that. Anytime anyone says that word now.
Ribrianne.
No, just love.
Love.
Just I just
Love.
love.
This shit.
Ah.
No, dude, the minute Zeno hit this with
Oh
his
my
other
God.
self, I was like, oh my god.
I felt like, I mean, with how much complaining I did on like how Krillin was never screaming for 18, I feel like that this entire
It
episode
cleared
was
it up.
Yeah, it cleared it up for me because that was all like
Even the flashback scene was just nothing but
Right.
him saying 18, 18, 18, and then he like snap
I
out
liked
of it.
Vegeta's attempt at Ultra Instinct.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like
I loved
exactly
it.
what you'd expect from him, just like
Yeah, literally.
immediately hitting a brick wall and then punching his way through it.
it was just like gets hit so many times and finally that one punch you're just like, alright, I'm done. No,
Yeah.
fuck this.
I
Just
wanna
beats the
know-
shit out of him.
What was the cop character, the one with the letters on his chest? What's his name?
What is his name? It's kind of long. It's like a few syllables.
My whole
4 or
thing
5.
with him.
What did you call him, Kickasola? Like a part-time cop or something like that?
Whenever he goes,
Freelance police.
Yeah.
Fucking discount pride trooper.
Yeah.
whenever he goes into his B form, his attacks are instantly 300 times stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And Vegeta was like, "Yeah, this is a pretty good time."
Yeah.
Like, go ahead and beat the shit out of me. He's like, "This obviously isn't doing it for me. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't."
Pretty much, he's
transform."
like, you're no Goku.
"Yeah, sure. I swear this never happens to me. I just can't transform right now. I don't know what's going on."
Like, you just need to leave.
I was really
You
tired.
just need to leave. I'm just really tired.
I would, as I said to you when you watched the episode earlier, I was happy, not ecstatic, because I was happy to finally see fucking Ribrianne get knocked off.
I loved it. I love the new transformation. The reason I say something about the directing on it is because the scene where 18 is running up her arm, like fucking Shadow of Love Losses or whatever.
Yeah.
Shadow of Love Losses.
He like the directing on it felt super weird. Just,
Yeah.
like out of not a usual format. You know?
See, everything
Attack
about
on
those,
Titan.
everything about Universe 2 feels super weird to me. I don't really
Was
get.
it one of the Yard Rat people from you? Was that 7 or
Yes,
2?
yes. No, Yard Rat was from Universe 2.
Yeah.
We're 7.
Yeah.
I meant 6, I'm sorry.
No, 6 has the making.
Yeah.
No, and that leads me to my biggest fear, not necessarily complaint, but god damn it. We got Ribrianne and Roxy knocked off, but we still have 3 characters left from Universe 2.
They're all about to fight Goku.
They're all about to
Oh
fight
yeah,
Goku.
yeah. And then we have 2.
But, I mean, I
Mostly.
believe 17 and 18 are probably going to come over and take
No.
them away.
I don't think so.
I mean,
I
unless
swear-
Goku's actually holding his own.
I think Goku.
Moral of the story, I swear to fucking Zeno, if Universe 6 gets knocked out before Universe 2, I'm
But I'm pretty sure this next episode's going to be
No,
Universe 6
it's actually
getting
it's
knocked
gonna
out.
be both of them. That's the because
Oh, it
the
says,
name.
it says universes.
Yeah, the title of the next episode says like the loss of several universes or something.
Mhm.
That was definitely not it, but yeah, it's gonna be Universe 6 and Universe 2 going at the same time. And honestly, I actually said like an offhand thought to Mo that if that happens, like there's a strong chance that Goku could get knocked out. I
I
don't
would
think that.
love
I don't
that.
think that it would.
Not yet,
but
at
I
least.
feel like
5 minutes. And it happens by free. It happens from Frieza.
really, you think
That was a
Frieza?
joke. That was a
you
joke.
think
Just
you would
5
think
minutes.
Frieza would the
No, he needs it.
you got 15 minutes left. Goku has no strength. Vegeta's fucking top notch right now. Is having no issues whatsoever. And I was like, if anything happened, I'd bet that Goku would get knocked out, and then something would happen with Vegeta. Vegeta would have to step it up, or something would go. You know,
I think Gohan.
Ultra Instinct Vegeta would be.
Ultra Instinct would be fire.
What if he gets the attack portion of it down and then they have to fuse?
That's what I was thinking. Is like, remember we were talking about.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan
Blue, Ultra Instinct,
Vegito.
because the Ultra Instinct isn't necessarily transformation.
Right.
It's
Okay,
just
so
the
can you
new-
go Super
you
Saiyan?
can
It's,
just-
as
it's
well?
more like a state of mind, like a Zen thing. Yeah.
And so,
So
like,
you can do both.
that's
I
what
mean,
was
at least
thinking.
blue. At least blue, I think, is its tranquility.
Blue is a peaceful
Yeah.
Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan God energy, but it's like being blue is like the opposite of being yellow, because yellow is rage, blue is peace, or being at one's, or peace with oneself. And so I think it would be like very, like, because blue is strength while red is stamina.
Mm.
So like if he had the energy to try it right now, it'd be fucking dope.
Yeah.
But like I think we stand a stronger chance of them doing the fusion dance or receiving the Pateras. Like I'd love to see the fusion dance, but I feel like he's backing off of it since Super Saiyan 4.
You, was it? I forget what the name of the original movie was. Fusion Reborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie came out mid Buu Saga.
This is Janemba, right?
Yeah, that was, and that introduced Gogeta.
Yeah.
Toriyama has this weird thing of like if a character is introduced in a movie, since he's not directly involved in the movies, he's not going to. Well, yes, it's not canon, but in Dragon Ball, I mean, it's just
He's not gonna show.
Canon doesn't fucking matter in Dragon Ball. It's just a show. It's just a, follow the story as much as you can, make it sense as much as you can. But he's not going to use it in the main series.
Mm.
That's why he came up with the idea of Batara and Vegito.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, the chance of seeing Gogeta in the main timeline are slim, as much as I'd like to. But I do think we've introduced the Batara as being fair game in the tournament,
Right.
and
They know it's not
They
permanent.
completely skipped over the.
And they only have 15 minutes as blue.
yeah, and oh my god, that I don't know if you hear last time we talked about this, but like they're going through like the characters of Universe 7, like who can we give the Batara earrings to?
Yeah.
And they just completely like brush. I can understand like, well, no, don't give it to them because of this reason, but just completely ignore Goku and Vegeta and Vegito as like the most powerful fucking character in
but
Universe 7.
That was the thing, is that whenever they went Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, Whis and Beerus weren't there. Whenever they were
but
the Black Arc. So they don't...
But the Kais do
Yeah, the
know, and the Kais were having the conversation and still went to 17 and 18.
I feel-
But I feel like that they would.
Let's bring
I would go to like something like that before going to Goku and Vegeta, because this is an actual tournament.
It's a tournament for like the sake of the universe. Who gives a shit?
Goku
Like,
just wants to. Goku let this happen and like agreed for this to be like these to be the terms of the tournament that he wanted, just so he could fight people.
So what? That's all the more reason to make Goku fucking fuse
they
and
probably
go
wouldn't-
against his like.
They probably wouldn't do it right now. Right?
No, obviously.
They
but
would
just-
wait.
The point is just to like. Not even bring that up like that's not like the elephant in the room of who the obvious choice is to get
Right.
the card
Yeah.
to.
I
At least say no, they wouldn't do it or something.
I think you're right. That's a nice
Right.
little nudge to the fact that like we're gonna keep that on the wraps type of thing. Like it'll probably end up happening.
I feel
you
like
know?
it will.
And that's what it would be awesome to see that Ultra Instinct Blue, because he gets Vegeta's energy, so he's back to being ready to go. But he also gets the Ultra Instinct bonus, and like if they fuse Super Saiyan Blue with that tranquility,
And they can go
thing,
Kaioken.
and they can go Kaioken,
Mhm.
it's over. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
that fight is going, and it's gonna go fucking in, like some shit like that you've never seen before. They're
Like
gonna
I
have
want to,
stop
I want
the
to
fight,
see,
like-
I want to see like a punch to Jiren's face, and then just everything shatters, and just like the classic like white field, like everything's just gone for a second, like
Yeah.
Goku just or Vegito just broke reality.
That's what they were saying, right? Whenever Goku and Beerus were fighting, was like they were hitting each other's fist, and every time they hit each other's fist, they were sending ripples through the universe.
Mhm.
Like this fight with Jiren, how do you fucking top
How do
sending
you
ripples
gauge
through
that?
the universe?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like things are about to get so massive, and like I don't know, you can't just Ultra Instinct him, because it's not going to be enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even when he was progressing in Ultra Instinct, yeah, he was like Jiren was like, fuck, here it comes again. All right, but like at the same time, his fight against Jiren, he was barely making Jiren have to use energy.
Yeah.
What happens if the stage is destroyed?
They just rebuild it, probably.
They'll probably take a hiatus for a second.
I mean, it's been wiped out a couple of times. It's just kind of been like...
Yeah, there's giant fucking chunks missing out of it right now, and that's just from, like, the Ultra Instinct Command Man. He put a big-ass dent in that ring.
I feel like...
It was so cool.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of edges that of the ring that are just like chopped off. Like somebody took a big bite.
Like,
of
there weren't mountain rings there either.
No,
It's just
no.
from, like, power transformations and all these other things that have made these giant fucking wannabe mountains on this plane.
Wannabe mountain.
Like, it was all, at least if I recall correctly, it was all flat at one point. And everybody was like, well, here we go.
So, something I thought about while watching this episode was like the Zinnas. The more and more I've seen them, the more and more I've enjoyed them. But like they started like punching at each other.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of curious if like, what if one of them would accidentally hit the other one?
Right. That's
Or-
a good question. Like, is one of them going to be so fucking petty?
Yeah.
To the other
He's
one?
gonna
Like,
get pissed.
yeah, start
It's like this whole battle's over.
Right.
And just fucking erases everything. That'd be
Oh my
awful.
God.
But
But they're children.
they're like, or what if he actually punched someone? Like, what if he punched
Yeah.
Goku? Like, what would be the?
I feel like
what would happen?
I feel like everybody but Goku would have the common sense not to hit back.
He hits
Goku's gonna
Vegeta.
get the fuck out of here. You're hitting me.
But-
He's Vegeta. Vegeta's still gonna be like, okay, all right, sorry. You know, but like Goku would be like, asshole. That's not okay. Don't hit me. And then Zeno would get like mad, but they'd be like, okay, yeah, you're right.
That's my bad.
Or they would just get into a fight.
You know, I feel like post the Goku and Jiren fight and everything tapering off since then, for me personally, I kind of see the flaws in the way this arc is structured versus having been structured in a traditional tournament style.
Yes.
Um,
It bothers me per episode.
yeah, like, I wish that we hadn't seen Goku fight Jiren yet, but had seen Goku, like, go up against really fucking strong people, and then Jiren just knock those people out like it's nothing. Like,
Right.
like the classic, like, you're...
Like,
the best things about, like, the tournament arcs in Dragon Ball and in Z, what got of it was...
I mean, the Kale fight did that for me.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But
No, there have been those moments, but so much is happening like all the time, and it's like I don't know. I probably would have enjoyed the universes more if we actually got more focus on them, and it wasn't just
See, that's what I miss about the original tournament style. You know, like
Yeah.
every episode was like this person versus this person,
Mhm.
this person, and that was like a whole thing.
and
you
it's
know?
it's not just the fights going on, but how like Goku.
the backstory.
Yeah,
shit like
Goku watching it and being like, "Oh, how am I going to fight this character?" You know,
Yes.
and like,
how would I adapt myself to be able to go
Yeah,
against
like-
that? Which I like the battle royale thing because it's something that's never been done, but it's so much happening that I feel like that's the reason why they gave you the Jiren fight is because people were losing interest. Like
Yeah.
the Jiren fight was like the lowest rated episode, so like people fucking loved the Ultra Instinct, but in Japan people had been tuning out more and more as stuff went on. People are in it for people are watching their Saturday morning cartoons and it's like One Piece is on, and people are stoked because it's time for Super, but Super was dragging, and people started checking out.
with the battle royale style, I was expecting it to be a lot quicker.
Yes.
And
You still have 15 minutes left.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
45
from
minutes.
it's supposed to go on. Reports are till like January or February.
Yeah, for sure. And as well, I think they'll check out the week of Christmas because they do a lot of they'll turn off for baseball games in June or whatever. They start checking out for baseball games, and then there's probably gonna be some holiday type special because Japan's pretty big on Christmas.
Right.
But
Big on Christmas and baseball.
yeah, right.
They love American.
They love America, man. They love America.
What a solid superhero. Man.
America, man.
They better. They know what happened last time they didn't love America.
That's like the.
Here's all this freedom.
That's
That's
that
Kroger
joke,
brand
but
Captain
like,
America.
I don't feel like I should say that.
That's what I'm here for.
Phil's like, Japan American boy. You know, Phil Rollins.
Jamaica.
I'm just
Yeah, because
gonna.
he's all like super Japanese.
I'm just gonna go on the record and say that was a
Weeaboo.
total dick move.
American.
American.
America, it was a total dick move,
Yeah.
but particularly Hiroshima and Nagasaki was a
Dude,
total dick
that
move.
shit
That was
was
uncalled
Japan and its
for.
fantastic bombs.
Jamaica or
Jamaican.
American?
Nah,
Mix
Jamaican.
of Japan and America.
Jamaica.
Right.
Mm,
Well,
I don't know.
I'm all about
We do
Japan.
that.
Alright, I'm all about Jamaica as well.
Jamaica.
Sounds like a Jamaican jerk,
Yeah,
like an
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Japerica works.
and that's the second one. All right. Well, thank you guys once again for tuning in to this week's episode of Fandom Nonsense. Be sure to head over to our Patreon for $1. You get our post show and our bonus episode. This month's Justice League. Next month is Last Jedi. This week on the post show, not really sure. Actually, we're gonna have to decide that. So head over and find out. But go over now and you can watch us play Stick Fight and watch us watch an episode of Super Friends. Yeah, featuring the Flash, who apparently was not in that show very much. It's a lot of fun.
Brawlhalla. Yeah, I don't have it.
I like
Really good. Huh?
you say Brawlhalla. Oh, Brawlhalla.
That's the one that has
But
Night King in it.
anyway, and by the time this comes out, there'll be a 3-element episode extended with bonus footage and some special studio rehearsal footage. And yeah, so like and subscribe. Hit our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, follow, do all that stuff. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Hi, Barbara.
He's using you.
It's lust, not love. It'll pass.
That's my line.
Whose line?
Is it?
I'm not saying it. I didn't want to say it. I was not about it. Whose line is it anyway?
Oh, well, you're the first one to say all.
Hey, it's still recording.